All right, welcome in. It is time for Total Bases. We had I think we're live. One of the accounts. So the kick account kicked out. How funny is that, right? That's apparently we're not live on Kick right now. So if you watch there, well, I guess you don't see us if you watch there. It's like a Twitch. I think that's what was we used to be able to go live on Twitch. Now we use Kick. The point is we use a whole bunch of different platforms to try to get this show to you. And I think we are actually coming to the people now. So welcome in. It is Wednesday. I am about 45 minutes away from Camden Yards, where I'm going this afternoon. So doing the show from the hotel. I will, Tokyo Brandon, I'll go to you first. How was your night? And what do you got going on the site today?
Not good. I went 1-2, I think. And it wasn't a particularly good day. I expected Jax to shut down the Royals, and he did not. They won. So it's one of those games I said, I should have taken him on the money line instead of the Royals team total under, but oh well. Got a 5% today in MLB, and just watching Kia in the KBO, GACA 3-1 ninth inning lead. So a little frustrated, but I think things are turning up for July.
Yeah, I kind of was in the same boat. So funny, the highlight of my night was that Rays game. I was on the Rays, one of my 4% plays. The other one, Rockies, no show, lost by 100 runs. I know you like the Marlins and we had them in the parlay, but I kind of knew the Rays were going to win. They were out to this big lead, and I too ended up 1-2. The Salt Lake Bees allowed Las Vegas to tack runs on. I thought I was good there with the 1.5 cushion. It turned out that I was not. 2 out hits did me in the 8th inning of that game. Brian, how did your Tuesday go?
It did well. 3-1 overall. Thought I was going to sweep. Had Minnesota as the only loser. From a game score perspective, they won. But it was funny how on the show when we were discussing the game, I said, just pitch around Alvarez. Well, he came up with the bases loaded, and he couldn't pitch around him. The grand slam beat us. So 3-1 overall. Now on a 17-3 run and 25-7 overall. No complaints for me. We've lost a couple of games I thought we should have won, but hey, when you're on that kind of run, it's going to happen. The better handicapper you are, the more bad beats you're going to have, and it's part of life. So, can't complain at all. It's been a wonderful month, and we look to continue it in July.
All right. I think we've given it long enough. It looks like the show has populated places now. I've retweeted it. We've given people enough time to log in. John in the chat says Brian's been on fire. Yeah, that's, unfortunately, the Twins was what cost us to parlay yesterday, too. It looked like we were, we had the White Sox easy. That one went over every which way possible, as we said it would on the show. And the Twins had a lead, and unfortunately, couldn't get it done. So we'll try to do it again today. How many we've had quite a few 2 out of 3s in the parlay. So I guess if you're playing them straight, that they've probably been all right. But yeah, let's get the show underway. Feature game tonight. Bryan Leonard, I'm going to come back to you. ESPN has Reds Brewers tonight. So let's go to national TV, Reds Brewers. How are you looking at this one?
Here's your stat. When Cincinnati plays division rivals, they're 1-18. It's been ridiculous how they've been able to win against teams outside the division. Milwaukee has dominated them. It's some crazy number again. And the Reds just can't beat divisional rivals. And if you can't beat divisional rivals, you can't win the division. And that's the situation that they're in tonight. Abbott against Drohan, both lefties. Drohan's about a 160 favorite or so with a total of 9. I like the Reds' offensive situation. Now they got some guys back. They've had a couple guys that got hit by pitches and things going on the last few days, but they look to be in pretty good shape. But as much as I'd like to play an underdog in this situation, I can't. They just haven't been able to beat Milwaukee. They haven't been able to beat divisional rivals. Abbott's a guy who most people don't believe in because of his advanced stats, but I'd love to play him, but I can't. It's probably not going to make my card. But Milwaukee finds ways to win. Cincinnati finds ways to lose. So I won't be involved that way. Maybe if you do like Cincinnati, you take the 1.5. I talked about the weather situations, and that was what happened in that Kansas City game. The wind was blowing straight out, and anytime that's a situation, it's tough to play unders. And yesterday and the day before, there were a lot of scoring. Today, very similar. 3 of the 4 teams that are expected to score the least amount of runs are in domes, and there's 2 or 3 games in which the wind is either blowing in or blowing across. Check all those. If you're seeing anything today, I'm seeing like a 12 in the Wrigley Field today. That tells you the wind is blowing out. I'm looking over the numbers real quick here. There's an 8 or so, but most of them 10.5, 11, 10. Wind's blowing out today. It's going to be tough to play unders. You're going to have a really good reason.
Yeah, Tokyo Brandon, I would say that's an understatement from Brian right there. The Brewers find ways to win as good as anyone in baseball, probably going back to like last May or June. Like this team just, they do everything the way that you're supposed to do to win baseball games. They run the bases well. They hit behind the runner. Like things that have people, I've been seeing Twitter posts complaining about like some of this stuff being lost in the game of baseball. Not if you watch the Brewers. They do everything right. And Brian's right. 52-31 coming into play today. They absolutely find ways to win. Do they find a way to win here?
So this is an interesting game. Actually, my numbers have this one of the tightest matchups of the day. But the Brewers obviously are a better put together team as shown by their win-loss record. However, the Reds have 35 more home runs than the Brewers, but the Brewers have the better batting average. So like you said, they're much better at small ball, producing runs, manufacturing runs like a Japanese team kind of. But they're really good at it. So Abbott's got really good stats against these Brewers. So I think I'm going to give the Reds a chance here. I mean, I'm probably not going to bet it, but if I had to bet this game, I might take a shot on Abbott because I think they're getting a little slighted. They did get some players back, De La Cruz back. I think the Reds have a pretty decent lineup here, and I think they can give the Brewers a run for their money today. I do like Droham, but I like Abbott a little better. Both bullpens are horrible right now in current form. And both teams are hitting exactly equal according to my rankings in current form. So yeah, I'd give the Reds a chance.
So there's things I agree and there's things I disagree with. So what I agree with, I do think that there's some value on the Reds. I mean, you're kind of being asked to pay like a premium price for the Brewers in my opinion, even with like they're obviously the better team. I mean, if you pull up the standings, I don't think anyone's going to argue with you if you say, oh, the Brewers are the better baseball team. But I do see some like maybe that my line is lower than what the line is, but that's also not like crazy. Like the Brewers, I've had the Brewers pretty much as a premium option almost every day. And that is because they're 20 plus games over 500. What I'll disagree with, I don't think these two lineups are close. Like I do like the Reds, the fact that they got Ellie back, it helps. Reds WRC plus on the season, 89th. It is the worst mark in Major League Baseball right now. They are dead last in WRC plus, whereas the Brewers are top 6 team in that category. And again, we've talked about the small ball, things they do to put runs across the plate, which is the name of the game. Scoring, like getting the run home is the name of the game, and the Brewers do that extremely well. So no value here for me. I can't put you on. If you're just like, hey, I want to take a shot as an underdog, I want to make a numbers play on the Reds, I wouldn't be able to put you off of that. But I think the Brewers probably win this game. So it's going to be a pass for me. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I look back extended numbers. Brewers are 34-7 against the Reds. And, I did say I like the Reds hitting. I expect the Reds hitting to get better in the second half. Mm-hmm. The lineup is too good 1 through 9 compared to a lot of other teams to play as badly as they have. But that's positive regression that hasn't happened yet. It's expected to happen. The Abbott's negative regression has never happened. So maybe that's what it's going to be. But I think the Reds will score more runs in the second half than they will in the first half. And we could be able to make some money on them in underdog situations, but not against divisional rivals.
Yeah, we allow the networks always dictate our opening game. That is, I do agree with you, TV. That's one of the tougher ones. That was probably the easiest one of the easier passes for me, just like where the Brewers were priced, knowing I didn't want to go against them. So let's go to a game. Well, let's go to the game you wanted to talk about, Tokyo Brandon. You texted us last night, actually before the game, and was like, hey, let's make sure we bring up Marlins Rockies. So yeah, you have been all over the Marlins in this series. They have absolutely crushed Rockies pitching so far in the series. I tried to get cute and jump in after the 10-7 win on Monday and take Rockies plus 1.5 last night. That was a bad decision. The Marlins scored 2 touchdowns and won big again. What a month of June for the Marlins. Are to make the playoffs. You got to be feeling good about where we got that. If you tailed that at plus 980, plus 9-1, they're certainly better than that now. But TB, this was the game you wanted to talk about. So kick us off. Marlins Rockies. Are you going back to the well again today?
Yeah, I got a 5% play out in MLB today, guys. So grab a double play. Include me and one of the other 2 guys, and let's bring this thing home. It's the beginning of July. July is going to be a good month. Check my Twitter X. I went to the temple today. We're going to get we're going to have a good month now. I'm feeling good. And Kia just tied the game in the 10th inning, so I'm pretty happy about that as well. So the reason I wanted to bring this game up is because I'm not going to bet the Rockies, but I'm going to give you some good betting advice. I don't recommend betting Miami today. You would think Max Meyer got stats, got Paul Skeens like stats. I mean, he's stat wise, he's great, but the reason he's great is because he's developed his breaking ball pitches, and those breaking ball pitches are not going to move in Colorado. So be very careful taking Miami today. The Rockies actually are hitting in current form better than the Marlins before this series started. The Marlins do have a bullpen advantage, and obviously Max Myers is better than Kyle Freeland. But I'm just saying, this is a big red flag here because Miami's already secured the series. They have no reason to give it the gusto to get over the hump and sweep. When teams go into an away ballpark and they've already secured the series, they're pretty content. So just a couple of big red flags here. So I'm not saying the Rockies are going to win, but I'm saying betting the Marlins will be a very risky proposition today. That's my betting advice.
Okay. Agree with that. I would agree. I think the Marlins are pretty overvalued here, and I don't want to bet them. Disagree with the fact that teams are like don't care about sweeping and getting wins. Like
the players care, but the managers don't care.
The managers absolutely care. That is a crazy statement. That is crazy. Unless you're the Dodgers and you're 20 games over 500. Let me tell you something. The Marlins.
Okay, I'll listen. But
that's
let
an
me
insane
respond.
statement.
No,
like,
it's
I don't want to derail the show, but like to sit here and say that on July 1st, a team that pretty much needs to win any game that they can win to make the playoffs wouldn't care about winning today is I don't even know what to say to that. It's a crazy statement. It's not like they're listen in September when a team's 20 games over 500. Like that's just like Brian, help me out here. That's wild. I can't get down with that.
I think I understand what Brand is trying to say. It's not that they don't care. It's that they come in a little bit satisfied, I would say. That said, whether you're a player or a manager, you're based on your performance. And a manager could end up getting fired if he doesn't take advantage of beating up on a bad team. So, yeah, in this game, great point by Brandon regarding Meyer and the breaking pitches. that's something you always have to take into account when you're playing in Colorado or a place that the altitude it cuts down on your breaking pitches. But I don't want any part of Kyle Freeland right now. He's a guy that has been a solid base on this team for a long time. He's an innings eater, but I've had a chance to watch him in person. I've watched a lot of his pitch. He's just not very good this year, and he's just eating innings, and that's all he's doing. And the problem is they don't have a lot of guys in the minors that can come up and do much better. We saw it with one of the guys that he brought up the other day. So it's I think the line is where it should be. I think Miami's won 10 out of 11 games when they've been favored as of late. So they're a team that beats the teams they're supposed to beat. As I talked about in the first game of the series, that I thought the line was a little too high. Yesterday, I thought the line was pretty good on Miami. I think the line's right there today. I want to fade Freeland, but I fully understand the breaking ball situation for Meyer. Colorado is starting to fade, and maybe they're turning into the team that they've been in the past. They've shown better hitting on the road than they have at home this year. But yeah, I won't get involved, but I understand both of you. And yeah, they always care. But I think they just are a little bit satisfied. As Marco would say, fat and happy.
This isn't even the last game of the series, though. They're playing tomorrow. These teams are playing tomorrow.
I'm not saying that they don't care. What I'm saying is when you're up 2 games in a series, the managerial strategy is a little bit different. If you're down by 2 in the 7th inning, you're not going to put your best arms out there to climb back in the game. You're more likely to say, all right, let's get it tomorrow.
Right. But when there's bullpen usage,
and I've been in dugouts, I know this is how they think.
When was the last time you were in a dugout? I'm just curious. I'm serious.
2012.
All right, I'm just saying, bullpen usage matters for sure. If the first 2 games of the series are 3-2, 3-2, and you cook through every bullpen arm, yeah, I would agree with you. That's going to be edge to the other team. But the Marlins won 14-3 last night. They didn't use anyone. I see what you're saying, but to say that this game does not mean
okay,
more, it means a lot to the Marlins. Arguably more. The Rockies are going to win 60 games this year. This game, the Marlins can't be losing games like this.
This absolutely is the managerial mentality. Why do you think the Dodgers are sitting Ohtani today? Why?
Because the Dodgers have the best team in the history of the sport, pretty much.
Yeah, but they don't care.
Why.
The reason is because they don't care about this game. That's exactly the reason. I'm telling you.
No, Brian, go ahead. Yeah, Brian, Brian, go ahead.
The reason Ohtani is not pitching today, 2 reasons. Number one,
San Diego.
San Diego is on deck, and they need to beat San Diego. But the real reason, and they won't come out and say this, is they're playing in Sacramento. The balls are flying out all over the place. They're trying to win Ohtani the Cy Young. So he's probably made a reference to it, and the manager knows how much that's important to him. So they're pushing him back a game so he doesn't have to screw up his numbers by pitching in Sacramento.
Dodgers could give a rip about this game today. I'm telling you. They're looking at San Diego and they're going to save their bullpen for tomorrow. I'm telling you. This is how managers.
Okay, we're not even talking about
manage. It's just the fact. Okay, we'll move on.
David, I'll close it down by just reading some comments. David, Marlins 20-6 in June, an amazing month for them. They absolutely are, full steam ahead right now. That being said, I do think the Marlins probably come back to earth in July a little bit. They can't possibly keep this up. Can't possibly keep this pace up. It's been an amazing month, but they're probably going to come back to earth a little bit. Michael Garcia, thank you for the donation. Much appreciated. All the donations that come into this show and any of the Wager Talk shows go to charity. So very much appreciated right there. And someone likes my hat. Yeah, they got me in the gift shop again. They got me in the team store again in Binghamton last night. I couldn't resist the throwback Binghamton Mets hat. That is one of the worst logo rebrands. I like when Binghamton said they were going to change their name to the Rumble Ponies. I was all about it. And then they put out the most bland uniform color template. So when I saw the old Binghamton Mets hat in the team store last night, I couldn't resist. Razor sharp picks. I don't know when I'll go back to Wilmington. I'll probably be in Frederick tonight if you're anywhere near there. I feel like it's not that far away. And I think I'm going to the Phillies game tomorrow. That's what I've decided to do for my birthday. I'll be 40 tomorrow and decide to go out and hit a couple games, which is like no different than any other time, but just an excuse to, I guess, get out there. And I'm going to the Orioles game this afternoon as well. All right, Tokyo Brandon, the question for you from Alex Rand: do the Braves continue to stink it up today? Well, I mean, they haven't won in a while. They kind of need a win. How are you seeing Braves Cardinals?
Yeah, this is a tough one because, I would think that the Braves can bounce back, but I don't know if they can do it with this pitcher. Lopez has been pretty bad, but McGreevy's not been much better. Atlanta has the better bullpen, especially in current form, but man, the Braves are just an up and down team. I mean, they were just on fire just 10 days ago, and now I've got them ranked 29 out of 30 in the last 10 days in run production, but Cardinals are ranked 26th. So that would make me say, hey, what about an under? But then you've got St. Louis's bullpen, which I have 27th. So, man, St. Louis is ranked 20 or worse in every category in this matchup, according to my numbers. If anything, I think the Atlanta could bounce back. But, man, this is going to be an ugly, ugly game as far as I can see. Get my 5% play, though. It's not on this game.
Brian, Cardinals, Braves to you. How are you seeing this one?
First of all, congratulations on finally being a man. He's 40. Little college football. Little college football reference. McGreevy and Lopez. Lopez is about a 130 favorite, total of 9. The spot screams Atlanta, I think, but Lopez is probably my least favorite of their starters. Well, they've had some problems with some of their starters lately, but McGreevy's not a guy that I'm looking to back here. I think the line, we're running behind a little bit. I think the line's right where it should be. I'm not going to be involved in this game.
Yeah, we're already on game 3. I don't think we're running behind that much, but I will say, like, I again, we found another one that I don't have a huge opinion on. Right now, like, so the Cardinals were a team that I kind of wanted to oppose. I felt like they were getting overvalued. The Braves were a team that was really starting to get overvalued about a month ago, but they've played so poorly through the month of June, which I guess, like, I felt like I could see coming a little bit. Acuna had the injury. They lose Drake Baldwin. Drake Baldwin comes back. He comes back in a huge slump. Like, to me, the Braves could never keep the pace up that they had the first couple months of the season. But I don't know. So Brian, is there something to the calendar flipping to you where it's like, okay, like the Braves just had a really, really bad month. They lost 7 of their last 8 to close June. Is there anything to that where it's like new month, fresh slate? I don't know. I feel like it's the same argument where it's like the Marlins probably aren't going to go 20-6 in July. I think the Braves probably bounce back a little bit just in general from how they played.
For the Braves overall, it's amazing. They've got this record with all the injuries they've had this year. Baldwin came back at catcher, and he has not been anywhere near what he was earlier this season. Acuna keeps getting hurt. The starting pitching has been devastated all season long, which is why Lopez is in this situation right here. The Braves are still, as I said, I think they're the second best team in baseball behind the Dodgers, and they will be there at the end of the season. They just need to get some of these guys back. They've got one of their starters back the other day. I believe they pitched him in relief. I like this Braves team. I like the situation here, but St. Louis is a team that's done it all season long. I've been backing St. Louis, making a lot of money. There's other games to bet on that have more value in my opinion.
Yeah, the final thing I'll point out here, listen, it's not a bad spot for the Braves if you trust Ronaldo Lopez. Mike McGreevy has a lot of those sort of underlying metrics for McGreevy. The expected batting average, one of the worst in the league. Expected ERA, he's given up some hard hit. He's not throwing the ball by anyone right now. Kind of feel like he's not the guy I really want to back at this point. So, yeah, you're right, Brian. Better games to bet out there. Why don't you give us one? Do you know what you want to do for the parlay?
I don't as of yet, but nobody's talked about Pittsburgh and Philadelphia with Skeens and Wheeler. So
Yeah, that's a big one. I miss it by a day. I'm going to the Phillies game tomorrow. Missed a generational matchup by 1 day. So kick us off there. Yeah, Phillies Pirates. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's a very interesting handicap because everybody loves betting on Paul Skeens. They just don't score for him. We talked about this with the pitcher the other day for
Ashcraft.
Ashcraft, yeah. They seem to score when Ashcraft is out there, and they don't score with anybody else. But Skeens right now, if you're a Skeens fan, how often do you get him as a plus 120 underdog? Not very often. Right now, Wheeler is about a 135 favorite, total of 8 in this game. Wheeler at home has been tremendous. You've got to have a really good reason to go against Wheeler at home. This guy, he's put himself, who would have thought he's put himself in the Cy Young category after missing all the time that he did. Hats off to Zach Wheeler. He's a veteran guy. I don't think he has quite the fastball as he had in the past, but he's a hell of a pitcher. And he's at home here against Skeens in Pittsburgh. And, Pittsburgh's hits home runs once in a while, but they're not really moving the base runners around. It's not often I would look to fade Paul Skeens as an underdog. But how do you not play Zach Wheeler at home in this one, in this price range, 135? I see some sharper places down closer to 130. If this hits 130 across the board, I may come back and play Wheeler here. They've just been so good with him at home. The hitters are really hot right now. When your leadoff hitter is hitting home runs like crazy, that's a nice thing to have. Pittsburgh's a team that I like, but against in this matchup, it's either Philadelphia or nothing for me.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to use Philadelphia in the parlay. Phillies, Brian, what am I looking at a number right now that's fair?
Right now, it's about 135. But if you wait a little bit, you might get something a little lower. But 135 is about the consensus.
Yeah, I was going to say, I still see there's still minus 130 a couple places. But yeah, you're probably right. Minus 135 is more fair for the parlay. I talked about the Pirates. Obviously, I've been high on the Pirates this year, just in general. Talked about them coming into the last couple weeks and kind of almost being like sort of flabbergasted, for a lack of a better term, as to how they're so high on the metrics for offense. But then you look at the lineup and you're like, how is this lineup like producing at a rate that they're producing? And I think I figured it out. They just feast on bad pitching. Like you give the Pirates like Monday night, I had a 5% on the Pirates. You give them an Aaron Nola, they will feast on a guy like that. I am not convinced that this Pirates team can truly hit great pitching. Now I know they've had some wins. I know they've beat some of the good pitchers. Like they've gotten wins in the games that those teams have played. But again, the Pirates, they have good pitching on their own. That's I would say their strength should be the rotation. And like to me, this offense probably regresses a little bit at some point from like what are they number? They were second in WRC plus behind the Dodgers after Monday. I can't see that staying like that all year, especially with Horowitz not in the lineup, with O'Neal Cruz not in the lineup. And but again, I think that like I don't trust this team against elite pitching. And now you're getting one of the elite pitchers in Major League Baseball on his home field. Like even if Wheeler matches Skeens here, let's just say Skeens is awesome, but also Wheeler's awesome. I still like the Phillies in the later innings of this game. I like the Phillies. Phillies are going to be the leg of the parlay. Tokyo Brandon, wrap us up on this one. Phillies Pirates to you.
Yeah, we've got 2 elite pitchers here, not just one. So, but yeah, Phillies overall are the better put together team. But away record, home record, it's all pretty negligible. These 2 teams look pretty even. Paul Skeens got better command and control. He's got a better walk rate. And the Pirates have, in current form, the better hitting lineup. Although I got them ranked 2 and I got the Phillies ranked 4. So if you want to split hairs. Both bullpens playing really well right now, and both pitchers playing really well right now. So what do you do when you got this? I mean, the first knee-jerk reaction would be over because two lineups hitting like crazy, but then you got two really good pitchers. So this is a tough one, but yeah, I mean, the Phillies are probably the better team, and if I had to play it, that's probably the way I'd go to. I kind of go with you guys on that one.
Phillies are left heavy too. I feel like the Phillies kind of have the lineup that you kind of want against the Skeens, right? Like Harper's a lefty, Schwarber's a lefty, so you get them against Skeens. Some of their other guys that are like have been semi-productive this year hit from the left side as well. So to me it's kind of a bad matchup for Skeens too. And I don't think he pitched well against them earlier in this year either. I think he struggled against the Phillies when they played in the previous series. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game regardless. Razor Sharp, 2 aces on the mound. Public's hammering the under, he said. He'll be on the over. I can't.
Why would you care what the public does? Just bet what you think's going to win.
Well, it just
he's saying he thinks the over's going to win.
The line, yeah.
Yeah, if you think the over's going to win, but who cares what the public thinks? Well,
yeah, I mean, it's probably why it's interesting they hung an 8. I think the books would prefer you taking the under 8 in my opinion, because again, there's probably runs at the end of this game too. The way this series is kind of played out so far. So I'll use the Phillies in for my leg of the parlay. We're going to give Bryan a second to think about his. TB, do you know what you want to do for the parlay here?
Let me take a look. Actually, I think I'm going to go with the Rays in my parlay leg, and the reason is pitching matchup here. Let's take a look at the Rays. The Rays are just insane right now. The one red flag is, as I just stated before, they've won a couple in a row here, so that's always a. Oh, I'm sorry. No, they've won the first game, so this is game 2 of the series. I just think the Rays are a better put together team. The Royals had been hitting the ball really like crazy until about 3 or 4 games ago, and now their bats have cooled off quite a bit. Rays are just on fire. I think the biggest telling sign in this game is going to be the bullpens, because I got the Rays number 1 in MLB right now in current form, and I got the Royals 29 out of 30. I do like Lugo, but I don't like him in this spot. I like McClanahan a little bit better. I also like McClanahan's strikeout prop. It was 4.5. I think I'll take an over on that one, and I will take the Rays to win this one. That's going to be my parlay leg. I think it's minus 130, minus 135, something like that.
Well, you were right when you said the Rays have won a couple in a row. They've now won 6 straight games, going back to the Royal Series last week, where they took the final 2 of 3 in that series, swept the Diamondbacks over the weekend, and then take the opener against Kansas City. TB, I'm with you. I cashed with the Rays 4% play last night. Loved that matchup and felt like I was getting a really good price point. Here, I just don't feel like I'm getting quite as good of a price, but man, Bryan, this Royals team is just a sad bunch. I pointed this out back in March, and they've made me look good in that regard. So Rays Royals to you. Are you making this a consensus, or are you going to push back with the Royals here?
I hate to make it a consensus because we haven't done well on those, but I agree. They're about a 130 favorite for the parlay, and I might play this a little bit differently. McClanahan, the lefty, against Lugo, the righty. The wind's blowing out just like it has been the last 2 days in Kansas City. So I think there's going to be some runs scored. Take a look at the current lineup for Tampa Bay. Luckily, Yandy Diaz was not hurt bad. He was back in the lineup, didn't miss any time. Top 3 guys in the lineup the last 7 days. Diaz, 25th in baseball and hitting. Aranda, 12th in baseball and hitting. Caminero, number 1. So a lot of different ways to play this. If you don't want to lay the 130 on Tampa, you can play which team will score first, which is a bet, which should be Tampa Bay. You can bet the Yurfee. Will there be a run scored in the first inning? I would say yes, as hot as they are, because the number 4, the next guys in the lineup are 121, 139, and 79. So they've got everybody, but basically their 8 and 9 hitters have been hot lately. And Lugo isn't a guy who's going to blow you away. I like him. He keeps the ball in the ballpark a lot, but with the wind blowing out like it is here, I don't want any part of that. So yeah, many different ways to play Tampa Bay. I will not say I'm going to play Tampa Bay and jinx us on the 3-0, but I do like the Tampa Bay side. And if you're looking for a Yurfie or team to score first, I'd like that. If you like first 3 innings, first 5 innings, I like Tampa Bay in that. And when you're taking a look at the bullpen, even though Tampa Bay's won a lot of games, look at their bullpen arms. Baker hasn't pitched in 3 days. Kelly hasn't pitched in 3 days. Clevenger 2 days. Laguma 3 days. So they're in really good shape in the bullpen. So it's a good spot to have some part of Tampa Bay in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. There will be a time to play against Tampa Bay, but it's not with the Royals, in my opinion. I talked about it yesterday. They won easily. TB, I think you're going to be on the right side in this one as well. Sports investor. Yeah, I'm real familiar with that area. My sister lives in Merchantville, New Jersey, which is essentially the Philly area. It's like 15 minutes from Citizens Bank Park. So I know all about parks, and I was there. I think I was there last time I went to a Phillies game, actually, right before we went to Parks first and then went over to the game. Great area, that whole Citizens Bank Park area. Bryan, I'm going to come to you to close the parlay out. Have you been to Citizens Bank Park yet? Is that one you've been to already?
That's Baltimore.
No, Citizens Bank is Philly.
Philly.
How many more big league parks do you have to get to?
When did the Philadelphia go to the new park? Because I went there with Ralph Michaels one time. We took a trip to Atlantic City, and they drove. He's a pretty sizable poker or blackjack player. So they drove us to Philadelphia. We went to the game. I don't know if it was the old ballpark or this one.
Well, you would remember the old ballpark was a dump. It was Veterans Stadium. This has been there since about 2002. 2001.
Yeah, we just went up to a loge, and I didn't get really to see the park. So there might have been the old ballpark. But anyway, I'm going to go to the Minnesota-Houston game. It is a dome stadium, so the wind won't have any effect here. But we've got Bradley against Amai, 2 guys who were very inconsistent. Bradley pitched pretty well the other day after a few lesser starts. But we're looking at a total of 8.5 here, and I think they're going to score 9. You're always looking for trying to find odd numbers because you can't end up in a tie. So I kind of like the over in this one. From the Minnesota standpoint, obviously they're probably not going to have Brian Buxton again today. He hasn't played in the last 2 days, but he's cooled down a little bit from what he was before. But if you take a look at their lineup, Larnish is hitting very well, 68th last 7 days. Clemens 73rd, Brooks Lee 45. They've got guys. Lewis has hit well since coming back from the IL. From the bullpen standpoint, for Minnesota, their closer Gomez has pitched 2 of the last 3 days, only 12 pitches. He'll probably be available. But what I'm trying to look at is Houston here. Houston at home, they're not going to cover off the ball right now. If you take a look at from 2 to 6 in the lineup, you've got Alvarez, who's the best hitter in baseball. He's at 162. Paredes is 37. Walker 77. Cam Smith 61, and you got Taylor Trammell at 89 or 99, excuse me. And their bullpen yesterday, they had to use Hader, they had to use King, they had to use Okert. So Hader has pitched 3 of the last 4 days, including yesterday. He won't be going today. King has pitched 3 of the last 4 days, and Okert's pitched 3 of the last 4 days. So they're not going to have their best of the bullpen. Abreu will be available tonight. So you've got a team that's hitting the ball really well. They hit the ball well at home, and the bullpen's not going to be there for them tonight. This is an 8.5 out there. You can lay the over 8.5 at -105, or at -110 at the worst. I'm seeing they're under is getting the number. So I'm going to play the over 8.5 at -105 is my play here on the parlay.
Tokyo Brandon, you've probably watched more of Amai than any of us over the years. I mean, the last two, he looked like Hideo Nomo out there the last two starts. 11 strikeouts against the Guardians, 10 against the Tigers, was straight up unhittable in that Tigers start. Yet Brian's looking for runs in this one. How do you see Twins Astros, Amai and Bradley here?
Yeah, kind of like the Astros here. Surprisingly, I didn't think I'd ever hear myself say that because they looked like absolute garbage before. But Imai, look, when you come over to America from Japan, a couple things you have to get used to. The number one thing you have to get used to is the texture of the ball is different and the size of the ball is different. And I think Imai is finally getting used to that. I think I said this on a show last year. Usually a Japanese pitcher is going to struggle his first season and then come into his own in the second year that he's here. Usually happens. Like Sasaki struggled mightily last season. He's kind of struggling this season too, but I think he'll get a little more stable. And I think Imai will be a little more stable too. Look, in his last 4 or 5 starts, he's only gotten bombed once. The other starts were pretty quality, even if they don't fit the definition of a quality start, which is 3 earned in 6 innings, I believe. So I think Imai's going to do fine. One thing that worries me, though, is Taj Bradley has really good stats against these batters he's facing today. But like Brian said, the bullpen is depleted. I kind of like the Astros here. I don't know if I'm going to, go all in on it or anything, but I think this is the Astros game to take here.
Go ahead, Brian. I'll go back to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, Amai on the season is ranked 87th in baseball as a starter. The last 2 weeks, he's ranked 4th. Which one do you believe? I agree with Tokyo Brandon. He makes a lot of sense with these players coming over to the United States, and I fully believe in that. But you're buying Amai high right now is because he's rated number 4 the last 2 starts. So he's not that good. He's better than what he showed earlier, no doubt about it. But on that team, he's probably the second or third best pitcher on that team. Now, Brown obviously is number 1. Lambert's been very solid. Burrows actually came on and played decently. But Amai's a good pitcher, no doubt about it. But in this game, at this number, I thought it should have been 9, and we're getting 8.5 at a cheap number. So just interesting. What do you happen to have your number you made on this one offhand?
Yeah, I made this 8.6. So there is a little, I am on the side of the over that you're on. The only thing that puts me off here a little bit is like when you're like, well, what do you think is the legit one? I kind of think the latter, only because he had only because it was so well documented that he struggled to just transition to life in the United States. He just didn't like when they fed, when the team meal was. He had this laundry list of complaints of things that he didn't like. Someone probably should have been like, hey, buddy, maybe you should have not went to Houston, Texas. Okay. If you wanted like a little bit more of like, there's a reason that a lot of the Asian players end up in LA. They've played in Seattle, right? Like, I just think he probably, like Houston, Texas might not.
He's a different animal. He's kind of like Darvish. He's got a chip on his shoulder. When Darvish was in Japan, he smoked in high school, which is unheard of in Japanese culture. And Imai is one of these guys. When they said, "Why'd you pick the Astros?" They interviewed him on Japanese TV. He said, "I don't want to be on the best. I want to beat the best." So he's he's a little cocky.
Yeah, no, I just like, but the thing, I guess the point I was trying to make is, dude, he has looked phenomenal in his last 2 starts. 21 strikeouts in 12 innings. So, but where I'm not, I don't have a problem with the over. He's probably going to go 5 or 6 innings. He's not super economical with his pitches. So that's the one nice thing you have going for you here is like, even if he shuts a team down, even if he's lights out, probably going to be 5 or 6 innings. They're still going to need 3 innings for the bullpen. And then Brian, the Astros might get all 9. When the Twins are in the mix, there's always the possibility that the Twins give up 7-8 runs on their own. They have big time bullpen issues.
Yeah.
One of the sort of, I would say, like they have zero bullpen depth with quality arms in Minnesota right now. So again, it's like you could be in this. The Astros could score enough for you to get this over. So I'm not disagreeing with the over, but I did want to just give my opinion on Amaya. I think he's good. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I understand everything you guys are saying. As to why he went to Houston, maybe he didn't do the research. Nothing to do with Houston, but how many Japanese people live in Houston? I mean, there's certain sections of the country. Somebody from Korea wants to go somewhere where there's a Koreatown, where a lot of
San
people.
Francisco.
Yeah, a lot of things like that. So yeah, I've never heard of Houston being a huge Asian area as opposed to other places. So
It's not.
Yeah. That has to be tough when you can't really speak your language to anybody around.
But he's one of those guys who wants to take that challenge.
Good.
And, he suffered for it.
Yeah.
He suffered for it at the beginning of the season. Most Japanese are very docile personality and unabrasive, but like Darvish, Imai, Irabu, if you remember Hideki Irabu,
yep.
These guys are different animals. They're not regular Japanese.
The Japanese soccer fans loved Houston, Texas, by the way. Loved it. There was some great social media stuff of they were just loving their time in Houston. But yeah, that's it. It's an interesting game. Brian, what you said over 8.5 was what on the number there?
Yeah.
All right. So that is again, I have no problem with that. I think the Astros and TB, I kind of agree with you. I think if I had to pick a side in that one, I'd probably side with the Astros as well. We have reached the end of the show. We have plays up on the page for today. I've got a 4%er locked in. Tokyo Brandon is going with a 5%er today. Brian, have you locked in anything yet?
Not as of late. But there is day games today, so I'll have something up pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go to one of those.
Adam got a 4%. I got a 5. Can't go wrong with two of us three guys. Double.
Yeah. Two of the three on the double play. That is they're going to cycle some of the specials for July. So I don't know what else is up there right now, but I do know that one we're offering all season. Two of the people on your screen that you see right now, 3 days, discounted rate. So take advantage of that. The parlay today is as follows. We've got Astros Twins over 8.5. We've got the Rays minus 130, and we've got the Phillies minus 135. All full game bets. One more time. Astros Twins over 8.5, minus 105. Rays minus 130. Phillies minus 135. That's your three-teamer for today. The three of us will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. for more Total Basis. We'll see you guys then.